Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we are going to be doing an interview with one of my 100K club members. So there's someone that has generated their first £100,000 selling on Amazon from the Seller Pro Academy. So we're going to jump on to Skype in just 1 second. Before we do, make sure you are subscribed with your notifications turned on. Let's get into the video straight away. Awesome, guys. We are joined here with Joe Barlow, who is one of the proud 10K and 100K club members. So I thought I'd get him on a Skype call just to talk through his experience. So, Joe, thank you for spending your evening. How are you doing today? You all right?
Yeah, not bad, thanks.
He's all right. He's all good. Having
Good.
a good time on the old Skype call. Let's kick this off straight away because I understand, like, the reason for doing these calls, reason for doing these interviews is to kind of ask people that have been through the process of launching a product, actually selling it, reordering, to the point where they obviously make a substantial amount of money. So I think the first question that a lot of people want to know is a bit about when you started. Like if you can take us back all the way back when to before, to actually maybe even before figuring out like what Amazon FBA was, like what was the need behind looking into it, and like why did you want to start selling on Amazon?
Well, to be honest, just being straight up with everyone, I just wanted more money. Like everyone wants more money,
Yes.
I think. Yeah, like I know a lot of people don't like to admit it, but I mean, in most circumstances, more money can always help, like anyone. So yeah, that was like the main driver behind finding this business model.
Yeah. Was
Yeah,
there like a an amount that you had a target for? Like you wanted to make a certain amount extra per month, or you just wanted more?
yeah. So yeah, the I think my target income was to cover my monthly expenses.
Hmm.
Because I mean, once you do that, that's sort of like a safer way to live, if you know what I mean. Because then you've got another income source covering your lifestyle, basically.
Hmm. Yes, and obviously you're still working as well, so you
Yeah,
still
yeah.
have your normal,
Yeah, I still work a full-time job. Yeah, yeah. I've still got that
yeah.
income as well.
How do you find managing, obviously your normal job, all the other things you do in your life, and then running an Amazon business as well?
To be honest, it's not too difficult. Because I mean, once the upfront work is done,
Hmm.
the Amazon business model doesn't really take up a lot of time at all. It's like a few
Hmm.
minutes every day.
Yeah.
Unless you are working on like a new project, then
Hmm.
it can take up more time. Yeah,
It's just like
like
customer
within.
messages,
Yeah,
PPC,
yeah. Like admin
those
stuff,
sorts of
basically.
things. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So in terms of the upfront, then let's talk about that because people normally want to know about like product research. How long did it take you?
yeah.
So I think the first thing is, what did you have any concerns before starting, or any like big things like, oh my god, this is going to be really hard?
Um, Not really, because obviously I knew I was going to use a course, so like I knew
Mm.
I had that guidance and that backup there. Um, I think the thing that did hold me back a little bit is that I'd never done anything like this before, and I didn't know anybody who had done it either. So
Mm.
yeah, that was sort of like in my mind a bit.
Yeah. So I guess yeah. So the concern was maybe not having anyone to go to, and just maybe not having the knowledge, but you solved that by obviously
Yeah,
joining the course, right?
joining a
So
course,
then
and
you
yeah,
kind of ticked that. Hmm.
yeah, because like it's not just a course; it's also like a community as well.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a big thing. Meetups and stuff like that. That's what's
Yeah,
important.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the important question: how long did it take you to find your products? Do you remember?
Um, I think I took the course in May, and I
Mhm.
probably found the product within 3 months
Yeah,
after
and that
that.
was like
So
learning the process, and yeah, yeah.
yeah. So before I took the course, I did do quite a lot of research before that,
Hmm.
just to like make sure that my mind was set on this business model.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then so it's 3 months to find the product, and then probably another 3 to 4 months to launch it. So I launched
Hmm.
it
Yeah.
just after Christmas time.
Nice, wicked. And then how did it go from the point of launching? When was the first sale? Like, how did it feel? Don't tell us about
So
that. Like maybe that
yeah,
first
so
few days.
first few days I was panicking quite a lot because it had just gone Christmas time, so the sales like literally dive bomb like that.
Hmm.
Because obviously everyone's like everyone's done with the Christmas shopping by that point. They're not really bothered. So after that, the sales gradually started picking up. At first, I was worrying, but then once it started picking up, it just sort of like if it was a graph, it just sort of went like that.
Nice.
And then I sold out, and then on my last day, I think I sold 49 units in one day. So yeah, it was.
Is that that's the point where you're like, I need more. I need more stock.
Yeah. And I suppose one thing that I kind of didn't think about too much was that my product was too heavy to do like air shipping. So because it was coming over like sea freight, it took quite a while to get another like order into the UK. So yeah, I was out of stock for quite a while at that point.
Yeah. Have you managed to get on top of your stock management, or are you still kind of getting there?
So like my product is quite expensive to source. So for that reason, it's quite hard to get on top of orders. So I'm not quite up to like where I'm constantly in stock, but I'm getting there.
Yeah.
It's like a gradual process. Yeah.
It certainly takes time, especially with when you have something where you have, well, manufacturing. Let's say it takes 30 days, sea freight 30 days. So there's a limit there, which is always you're gonna go in and out of stock basically like that. So you got to the 100K mark. So for anyone that doesn't know, then when you join the Seller Pro Academy, we have two kind of real important landmarks. The first is your first 10K in sales, and then the second is your first 100K in sales. So you did 10K quite a while ago. I don't know when exactly.
Yeah. But it was... So what it was, I think it took me about 6 months to hit the 10K because of Chinese New Year and going out of stock and all that. And then in the next 5 or 6 months after that, I hit 100K. So it's sort of like it just took off after that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I always say like, the first 10K is the hardest, and the first 100K is the hardest. Like it's always going to be the hardest to get to those landmarks, and then you're like, oh, okay, I can do that again. Yeah, just an interesting question. If you were to be able to maintain the stock, what do you think you'd be on by now?
I'd say 500K, like a lot. Yeah, a lot more. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's like crazy. For me, like because it's such a high demand product, and because I've managed to differentiate my product from the other competitors, because most of them are Chinese sellers. Mine stands out quite a lot, and I think I give the customer the option that they're looking for out of the bunch, so that when I am in stock, I basically get the best seller badge straight away. Like people just go mad for it. Yeah. Nice. So like rank for all keywords straight away and all that sort of stuff. But then because I am selling quite a lot, I'm selling out really quick, and I can't afford enough stock to like keep that momentum going. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's definitely something I'm working on.
Yeah, and that's something that will come over time. I mean, that's happened for me numerous times. It's the best and worst feeling in the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're like you're selling really well, you're like, oh my god, this is so great, and then you're like, hang on a minute, I'm going to run out of stock.
Yep.
and I need to get it in. So you try and order, then you have to wait. But there will be a point where that it will slowly those times of being out of stock will just get smaller and smaller and smaller.
Exactly.
Like, okay, it's good. Yeah. Especially when you're doing those sorts of numbers, then the stock can quite easily add up to a substantial amount of money.
For sure,
just ordering it.
Yeah, I think a good point to raise as well is that when you first do your product launch, you need enough money to cover like 2 orders. So obviously your first one comes in, you're selling that, you need your other one ready by the time that's sold out. So yeah, just
exactly. It's a hard one to know what is the best, how much time do you need, how much money do you need, because you're never going to know until it starts selling. You don't want to be in a position where you order too much, and you don't want to be in a position where you order not enough. So I always say like that first stock is really going to show you how quickly you need to order the second batch.
To like gauge the sales. But then after that you are going to need more capital than you think, because I think that was something I overlooked, is I went for like a higher cost product, but I didn't have enough to keep it going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the higher cost, higher investment. So I guess you started with a fair amount of money as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you be able to share it or not?
Yeah. So, well, yeah, I suppose so. My initial budget was around 10,000,
Hmm.
but that included everything from getting a trademark, um,
Hmm.
from product design, and obviously the first batch of products. Um, yeah, so that budget literally like it went. But then obviously like you're recouping funds from your orders as well. So it's
Hmm.
something I have learned, especially about business, because this is my first business, is like cash flow is everything. Like
Yeah,
your
definitely.
business depends on cash flow so much.
Yeah, it's that hard position where you want the cash flow, you want the money back as quick as possible, but that means that sometimes you're going to be like, oh my god, I need more stock.
Yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, it's a hard thing, and I think it's something important in business. Is you made a really good point that in business cash flow is so important.
Yeah,
Um, so that's why as well you don't want to order so much that you've got a lot of stock or you got a lot of cash held up in stock that isn't selling very quickly.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you're still in a good place to be, rather than having loads of money tied up in stock and not being able to shift it. So it's good every time you get it
yeah,
in, it's like it's gone nice and
yeah,
quick. So
yeah,
when
yeah.
you actually finding your product, you had a little bit more to play with than probably most people. Um, what kind of methods did you use to do your product research?
Yeah, so on for product research, I literally just followed the course. Like I used the yeah, I mean it's simple as that really. I just followed
Yeah.
the Jungle Scout Chrome extension results,
Hmm.
um, put them all into a spreadsheet. Just thought about it logically really. So I like listed every single like potential product out, and I think I ended up with about 50 or 60. I then color coded the ones that I thought were like better than others from like bad to worse, and then narrowed those 50 odd down to 10. Did
Hmm.
like deeper research, so like looking for things like patents. Is it breakable? Like yeah, you know what I mean. So all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then obviously from those 10, narrowed it down again to like five or three, and then from there I just went for it, made a decision. Like the product
Yeah.
that I went for didn't particularly stand out. It was just like it's the best out of the ones that I've narrowed it down to. So I must
Hmm.
have looked at probably 500 products and then just narrowed that all the way down. And I thought, well,
Yeah.
out of all those products, this one's the best one, so it must be all right to go for, and it was.
How was that feeling? Were you like worried when you were ordering that first like lot of stock? How
Um,
was the feeling?
Yeah, so there was obviously doubt in my mind, but again, I'd followed the course, I'd done all my checks, so if anything was gonna go wrong, it was something that I already knew about.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely. It was
yeah,
like an acceptable risk as such. Like, oh, I know
yeah,
this could be a risk. I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen. I'll make sure I cover my bases on that.
yeah, for sure, yeah,
Yeah. And how was it when that 100K? Because it was only a few days ago, was
yeah,
it?
yeah. It was actually on Black Friday morning that it happened.
Oh, really? Yeah. And then
Yeah,
have you sold out yet? When are you going to sell out?
yeah. So I think I sold out
Oh, you
the
have.
day after Black Friday. Yeah, because like the sales are just insane. Like because they do Amazon do deals for like a
Mhm.
week before. So again,
Mhm.
you're just getting all that that natural traffic coming through the website. So
Yeah.
yeah, sales were just like going crazy that week. And then on actual Black Friday day, I sold 95 units in one day. So that was
Wow.
like something like £500 profit just in one day doing nothing basically.
That's wicked. That's so cool. And yeah,
Yeah.
you spending maybe a few days, a few minutes a day doing it. What are your plans then for like 2020? So I guess one of your plans would probably be stock management or cash flow would probably be a big one. But do you have any plans 2020 for your store?
Yeah. So I've got to put a bit more thought into it. But what I am thinking about doing, to be honest, is letting this current product like just tick over and maybe increase it slowly and keep it within the budget that I've already allocated for it. And then any other
Hmm.
additional income that I get from like saving up through my work income, um,
Hmm.
I'm going to put that towards like an additional product, but this time go for a cheaper to source
Hmm.
product. And then if, well, hopefully that should do as well as my other products, keeping it within like the
Yeah.
same brand as well. And then like use hopefully some of that income to then fund my first product even more and just keep it rolling like that.
It's a good idea.
Also, like later on plans further to that would be to take sales away from Amazon as well. So like drive traffic through my own website, use cheaper advertising alternatives like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, whatever. Yeah, just basically go about it that way. Yeah, build up an email list as well.
Totally. Yeah, and once you have multiple products, that means you can upsell as long, like you said, they're in the same brand.
Yeah.
You can kind of cross promote them as well, increase your order cart value, and
Yeah.
hopefully keep your customers. Which longevity wise, obviously that's the best thing to do. When people, if anyone doesn't know, the reason why we want to leverage Amazon when we start is because they have the customers. Whereas once you know the customers are there and you know how to run a business, how to import the goods, and it works, you've proven that people like it, and that's when you can obviously, it's a good time to get your own sales, your own customers, which is wicked. I like the idea of having the cheaper products so you can basically keep it churning and help fund the other products as well, which I assume on the other product, because it's a higher price, you're also able to make maybe not a higher margin, but obviously more pounds back than obviously a cheaper product. It's always easier to sell one expensive product than lots of little ones. So it's a nice little play to have both of those. How do you think you'll find launching a second product compared to the first one?
Probably about the same, to be honest. I mean, the doubt won't be in my mind as much, but like the process that I'm going to go through, to be honest, is going to be exactly the same. I've done it once before and it's worked, so why not follow that again? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so wicked. I love it when like people like yourself haven't had a business before. You're like, I'm just going to do it. You follow literally when I say, what did you do? You're like, I just followed the course.
Like, yes. That's literally, that's all it was.
And then like do really well. Making like sales of 100 grand in your first year, like it's under 12 months of selling. For any company, I think is really a really incredible achievement. But to do it with no experience, is just phenomenal. Which is why I'm like absolutely like taken aback every single time people like yourself go through the training and get some incredible results. So it's wicked to see. And although you've mentioned the training and stuff like that, the main thing is, which I want everyone to know, the training is a tool, but it's really yourself, right? It's really that you did it, you put the time in. So as much as the training is there and I'm there to help, you still have to do it, right? You have to still spend your time getting it up and running. And out of interest, how much time were you spending, maybe a day or a week, on that initial setup? Because that's, I think, a question that people really want to know. Can I do it in my spare time?
I mean, so obviously I was working a full-time job as well, and I was also in my 5th year at college, so I had a lot of coursework to do as well, and deadlines on that. So any spare time that I had on top of that, I was basically spending working on the business. I just basically went for it. Like any spare time that I had, I'd dedicate to it. So like on weekends and after work and that, like once I'd finished my college work as well, I was just on it after that. Yeah.
Was anyone getting annoyed with you? Like,
well,
why
not
are you always doing this work?
No, not really. I mean, I suppose if you've got like a wife and kids, I suppose that might like hinder you a little bit. But at the same time, like you're doing it for, I suppose, their benefit as well, aren't you? If it's going to bring in more money. So.
Yeah, wicked. All right. I guess then I get two questions. I guess one of them we've kind of covered, but I'll ask it anyway. Is how did you find the process of doing the whole thing, going through the training, the support, and all that sort of stuff? Because people always ask, like want to ask students, what's it like? So is it all right if you can just give your just opinion?
Yeah. So I mean, everything's pretty laid out for you, to be honest. Like I've already said, the course it basically covers everything that you need. I mean, there are like very, very specific things that aren't in the course, but that's what your one-to-one support is there for. And then you've also got more sellers within the community, within the Facebook group, that are there to help out. Like whatever your question is, there's always going to be someone there that knows the answer or that can give you some tips. So yeah, this course is basically all you need to get started, to be honest.
Could you have done it without it? That's the question.
See, people say
maybe.
no, I mean, people say you can do it without a course, but I really don't think you can do it as effectively without a course, to be honest. I mean, it just fast tracks you. Like, obviously, there is that upfront cost, but if anything, I think that helps because it keeps you dedicated to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gives you accountability. Whenever you spend money on something, you're like, oh, I better do it.
Yeah.
I better do it. Yeah, rather than just like, oh, I'm watching a YouTube video. I don't really need to do it. That's cool, man. And then I think, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And the last question, which I think is really important, is it's either if you could give advice to yourself before you started, or give advice to anyone else that is looking to start FBA as a business model. What advice would you give?
So I suppose if I was going to give any advice, it would be the mindset, if anything. So like, I like to think of it as like a light switch in your head. So like, you just literally want to turn it on, and then as soon as that's on, like, you're going for it. Like, you can't back out now. You just like 100% or nothing. And I think that's the best way with anything in life, really. Just go for it, and then whatever happens, happens. But like, you create your own luck, really. So the more work you put in, the luckier you'll get.
I love that. Absolutely. And that's all I think I had that same realization when I started. It was that decision of like, all right, I'm doing it. It's just, it's an active decision. It's like, okay, here's my two options. What's the worst that can happen if I say yes? What's the worst that can happen if I say no? As long as you know the worst case scenario.
Yeah, like weigh up the options. Yeah.
Exactly. There's going to be risk. Like, at the end of the day, starting a business is risky. Yeah, putting your money where your mouth is. But yeah, I love that. Yeah, just take a decision to actually I think it's a decision to either do it or not, but it's to decide, right?
Yeah. You've got to do your research, and then you've got to decide, is this right for me? Does my personality suit this business model? Because I think it does take a certain type of person. Like, you've still got to be a bit creative, and you've got to have the drive to get things done and put time aside every week to get things done. But I mean, there are other business models out there that some people might be better suited to. But I mean, that's why you do your research in the beginning. Yeah.
Is there anything in terms of research you think people should do before they get started? If they are to say for example, they are taking a course, is there anything that you think they should do before they do
that? Again, I'd say mindset. So read. I personally would say read books. Books help me out a lot. Things like Rich Dad Poor Dad, that was like the first book that I read, and that really is a good mindset shift. It really does change your perspective on money. 4-hour work week, that's another good one as well. And of course, the one product strategy.
Oh yes, yes. Oh, you've made my day.
Yeah. But I mean, to be honest, that is literally like a course in a book, and it's free. So plus shipping. So.
Plus shit, get that shipping in there. We can't say free without saying plus shipping.
Yeah.
That's wicked, dude. I want to. We've probably about 20 minutes or so. So I want to thank you for spending your time in your evening on the phone to me, on Skype to me.
Yeah, no, my pleasure.
Helping us put this out on YouTube. What would be cool is, obviously, we'll get this up on YouTube. If any people have any questions, they can probably ping them in the comments. Is it all right if you, obviously, when it goes live, just spend maybe the 24 hours after, go in there and just answer any questions if people had, because I'm sure there's questions I didn't ask that people wanted to know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And then we have, wicked. We also have your award on order. I ordered it Monday, so we'll make sure that we get that given to you.
Great. Yeah.
On the next meetup.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that'd be good.
Wicked. All right. Cheers, Joe. Thank you ever so much for your time.
All right. Cheers. Thank you.
Cool. See you later. All right. Let me just sign off the video. What do I need to say? I'm going to do it to this camera. 1 second. Make sure we can hear me. Cool, guys. If you did enjoy that video, I'd love it if you just smash the thumbs up button. As I said, leave any comments that you have or any questions you have for Joe down in the comments or for me. Make sure you are subscribed with your notifications turned on. And remember, you're just one product away. Bye-bye.